Hey there, gang. It is time for another comic book unboxing video. I have here this short box of comic books that I need to grade so that they can be sold on eBay. But here's the thing. I have no idea what is actually in this box. I'm not the one who put these books in here. So it will be a surprise and delight for me to find out what I'll be working on. Hopefully it will be a surprise and delight for you to come along and watch as I unpack those books. So if you like comic books, stick around. We're going to have some fun. Hey there, Bubby. Welcome to Shanghalla. My name is Duke, and this is an unboxing video. So please do like, share, subscribe, comment, do all the groovy things. Stick around to the end of the video when we will give the super double top secret mystery password that you need in order to enter the great 1,000 subscriber giveaway contest when I will be giving away a super special mystery prize. Once I reach 1,000 subscribers. You can enter one time every video. You just need that password to do it. We've got some people who've got 10 or 12 entries already. So yeah, you can catch up. You can go back and watch those other videos if you're new here to this channel, and you can catch right up and have just as many entries as those other folks. But other than that, let's get right to it. I'll kind of explain as I go along what I'm doing if you are new here. But here is the first batch of books, and this is pretty special. This book is special to me because we had a house fire in August 1980, just as I was getting ready to go into the 7th grade. And junior high school, we called it then. I think today it's middle school, but back then it was junior high school. And at that point I had probably not as many as I remember. You know how kid memories tend to inflate everything, but feels like I had a couple thousand comic books at that time anyway. Like I said, probably less, but lost them all. We lost everything in the house fire. It's actually, I should say, it was a trailer fire is what it is. So it went up like a candle. But anyway, I did have a small stack of comic books that I had coincidentally bought just that day. I had ridden my bike to, I can't remember if it was the corner store, the Pickwick, or if it was the Mr. Paperback, which is a chain of local bookstores back then. I think it was the Mr. Paperback. But I was actually next door reading those books when the fire broke out. And in that small stack of comic books was a new Teen Titans #1. So the collection that I have today, which is some 28,000 books strong, and don't get excited, nothing real valuable. I'm really more of an accumulator than a collector. These are not my books. Again, if you're new here, I am grading for the company that I work for. So these are not actually my books that we're looking at. This is not my copy of New Teen Titans #1. It just sort of stirs up those memories. I wish this was my copy, because this is a nice brilliant white. My copy is pretty well traveled through my late teens, 20s, early 30s. I was kind of a vagabond bachelor. I think in that 15-year stretch, I probably moved about 30 times, and sometimes of my own volition, sometimes not. I got kicked out of more than one relationship. So I have a pretty well-traveled comic book collection, and the books were not always stored in the optimal condition. So my copy is a newsstand copy, just like this, with the UPC code, but nowhere near this brilliant. But anyway, that's the story there. This should do well on eBay. The Titans aren't quite as popular as they once were, but that should still be, I would think, a $30 or $40 book. And you can check out and see how those do. These will be sold on eBay. The seller name there, at least right now, I don't know if we're going to change it again, but it's .com Comics, which is the name of the company's retail store located in Freeport, Maine, or on the Whatnot app, live auctions. If this ends up there, I believe the seller there is Sell My Comic Books, and the website sellmycomicbooks.com. That's the vehicle we use to purchase most of the collections that we buy. So there you go. Moving on, here is a Marvel Romance title from the early 70s, 25 cents. That would have been, what, around 74, 75? My Love. Here's another one, Our Love Story. It's just kind of weird to me to see Marvel romance books from this age, because I just really don't associate the romance genre with Marvel during this time. There was a time from like the late 40s through much of the 50s when 3/4 of the Marvel line, then, Timely or Atlas, had female stars. Rather, it was, superheroes like the Blonde Phantom, or romance books, or career girls like Patsy Walker, or any of the various, teen humor books. Most of the Marvel books, you complain today that, the MCU and the chicks are taking over. But again, there was a time when most Marvel comic books did, in fact, have a female star. Anyway, moving on. Young Love. Here's a nice 70s logo. Actually, it's more of a kind of a late 60s San Francisco concert in the park kind of logo. But anyway, this is towards the end of the romance era. I don't think any romance books lasted at DC much beyond 74, 5, 6. But romance books were once upon a time a big seller for DC as well. As I recall, not like I recall like I was there. If my memory of the history is correct, the DC romance books were mostly produced out of a different office. They weren't produced in the same office that did all the superhero books, and they often had a female editor as well of the whole line. But anyway, here's a giant 100-page super spectacular. Here's another one. That was 111. This is number 113. Here's a regular-sized book. That's number 117. Let Me Grow Up. Oh, my. Oh, my. Well, that's something else. Let's keep on trucking here. See what we've got in this next stack of books. I got to just put this other one neatly away. Oh, is this? What is this? Just a second. I thought that was a bell bag. No, it's not. What is it? Made in China. To avoid the danger of suffocation, keep this away from babies. This bag is not a toy. This isn't even a comic book bag. This is like something was packed in. We get books in collections just packed in all kinds of different stuff. Oh well, this is the next stack. And here's another one of those kind of cool logos. I like that, of Young Love. This looks like a Dick Giordano, Vince Colletta collaboration. They worked really well for the romance books, I think. This is different. I'm not sure who. That almost looks like a Ramita cover, but maybe not. That's Young Love 119. Here is 118. The agony and the ecstasy of Young Love. Number 116. She's a hussy. Look at that. Nothing better than a red-headed hussy. Young Love number 92. Oh, the bikini babes. Young Romance. And that's sort of the granddaddy of all of the romance books. Number 208. Here's another 100-page super spectacular. Number 204. Number 203. And you may not believe it, but these romance books will probably do pretty well on eBay because they're fairly rare, especially in decent condition. These, as you might imagine, were purchased largely by girls who were not, rabid fanboy collectors. These are the types of books that, did not go straight into bags and boards once those did in fact exist, specialty comic book bags and boards. And, they probably got, beat up, passed around, passed down from older sister to younger sister. So these are in remarkably a good condition, I think, for romance books. And the market today responds to these books because, if you're a DC collector, you kind of want to have everything from DC. You're probably a completist. And, if you're anything like me, it's fun having all of the books that came out a certain month or a certain year or a certain day. And you want these as kind of fill-in to, in order to have that complete run. Not a complete run of a title, but a complete run of a time frame. Like, for example, for me, my sort of personal golden age is the 30 and 35 cent era, 77, 78, when I would have been about 9 or 10 years old. And those books, I'll take any book. Funny animal, romance, anything from those years. I want them all. And it's just cool to see what else was on sale at the same time as your favorite Superman or Batman book or Iron Man or whatever. So there's a market for these types of books, because of that reason, because of the kind of curiosity factor, more so than Westerns. Westerns have faded away. So straight science fiction seems to have faded away, but the war and the romance books are still big. These do well on eBay, especially if they're in decent grade. And as I say, it's kind of hard to get them in decent grade, which makes them particularly collectible. All right. Anyway, moving on. Superboy, and this is kind of volume 2, full title actually The New Adventures of Superboy. So the Legion of Superheroes had taken over the Superboy title, and along at this time, this would have been early 1980, it's about January or so, 1980, January cover date. So I think this would have come out around November 79, and they split it off. They put Superboy back in his own title, and then the Legion continued on with the numbering of the original Superboy title, because it was Superboy, and then it became Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes. Actually, first it became Superboy starring the Legion of Superheroes, then it became Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes, first on the cover, then in the indicia, and effectively, they were Legion stories. Superboy was just another member of the Legion for all intents and purposes, but they decided to focus once again on Superboy. And I don't know if that's because they might have had in 1980 any kind of Superboy project in the works. Probably the Salkinds might have had that under contract. The Superman movies had come out by that time, so there was kind of an upswing in interest. Superman was always the largest seller at DC, more so than Batman. You think of DC as Batman today, but back then it was all about Superman, and it started to wane a little bit in the early 70s, and then with the Superman Christopher Reeve movies, it picked back up. But again, I don't know if they made that split just to focus more on the Legion, or if it was because they wanted to put a focus back on Superboy. And if that's the case, behind the scenes, it probably was because he was under contract or something for a potential movie or TV show. The art in this is Kurt Schaffenberger, which I really turned my nose up at the time. It seemed not exciting to me, but these days I really appreciate his draftsmanship skills and both in terms of layout and drawing and inking style. I'm a big fan of Kurt Schaffenberger today, whereas during his lifetime, he probably would have passed on anything that he did. No, not probably. I did. I surely did. Alrighty. Oh, this is interesting. So we've got here Star Wars number 57, and it's got stamped on here, complimentary copy. Interesting. So I don't know if that was something that a store or a retailer or something gave away, or if it was a comp company. Of course, DC Marvel, they all send out comp copies, but I don't think they stamp them like that. So who knows where that came from. This one is stamped similarly. They're in decent condition. They look like, they're in the 8-ish range. But for this, what does it say? Not to be sold. Huh. Interesting. Same thing on this Marvel Tales. Marvel Tales reprinted early Spider-Man titles. This one looks like they got to a certain point, recycled it, and decided to start at the beginning. So this is Spider-Man number 1 being reprinted here. Interesting. Marvel Team Up. This should do well. All things Moon Knight are doing well right now. I have not seen the episodes. I don't have Disney Plus, but I may sign up for Disney Plus just to binge all the shows I've missed and to watch Moon Knight. And then, after a month, I'll cancel it again. Marvel Superhero Secret Wars. That's a mouthful. Here's another Marvel Tales. 190. What issue number was this? Well, that was 138. So by this time, we had got all the way up to, when is that? That's around issue 50-ish, something like that. Not sure. Oh, look at that. This would do well, except for it's got that damn stamp on it again. I wonder if some of these other ones, if these are from the same collection. Of course, these collections that we buy, they get all mixed together. I didn't know if maybe it might be stamped on the page 1. Here is Batman 325. What seems to me something making my spidey sense tingle, looking at this Batman comic. Seems to me there's something special about this issue. I can't remember what it is. This was a cool era, though. This is probably the high point of me as far as reading Batman. These years right here in the early 80s. Here's Catwoman. Green Lantern, number 141, first appearance of the Omega Men. That's pretty nice. The next stack. Oh, here you go. Action Comics number 521, first appearance of Vixen. It's got a few tick marks here, but that's a book that does well. Vixen isn't that big, but she's pretty big. Here's another Green Lantern 141. Wolverine number 2. Number 3. The heck is this? X-Men 205. I'm not sure why this is in here, if it's why it should be a single. It's in pretty low grade. Got a lot of spine wear here. And I did actually, if you go back and search through the playlist and you look under the grading videos, you can find a little special video I did about spine wear. And because if you look at this book, well, you can see a little tick right there, but otherwise that might look like, oh, it's an 8.5, it's a 9, it's a very high grade, great. But all of the books, particularly Marvel, from this period in the Chrome Age, the early 90s into the mid 90s, I don't know if it's the paper grade quality, the cover stock, or what it is when they got folded and pressed, because this seems to be a defect in printing rather than handling. And actually, it's true of a lot of modern comics. They will have a lot of spine wear along the edge where the color broke, and you'll have like this, this long white line. Well, it's in the bag, so I don't know how well you can see it, but you have this long white line right up the spine. That's a defect. That needs to be accounted for in the grading. Superman Man of Steel, number 18, with Doomsday. Why is this? Oh, this is Thing from Another World is what that sticker is. It's actually on the bag. I thought it was on the comic. Here's another Thing from Another World. That is Master of Kung Fu, number 17. Actually, the first issue of this series. The numbering continued from Special Marvel Edition. Was that it? See, I want to say Marvel Special Edition, but I believe the actual title was Special Marvel Edition. And Shang-Chi first appeared in number 15, number 16, and he was kind of an immediate hit right there with number 17. They changed the title right over to The Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. If you're looking in the price guides, look under M for Master. Thor, 20-cent era, pretty nice. Number 212. Tomb of Dracula, number 6, and that's a nice looking copy. Very nice. Marvel Team Up, that does well because of the Wolverine appearance. X-Men 248, I believe that is the first Jim Lee. I can't remember if this is the first Jim Lee art at Marvel or the first Jim Lee art on the X-Men. But definitely the words first and Jim Lee go with this book. Cloak and Dagger, another first. This is the first issue of their mini-series. Their first mini-series. Monsters on the Prowl, number 16. Back by popular demand, King Kull. Well, hooray. Avengers, that iconic cover, number 223. Nice. Incredible Hulk, 154, co-starring Ant-Man. Because, the Hulk is hard-pressed to beat a rat. Here's number 157 with Rhino. 159 versus the Abomination. Not a particularly well-drawn Abomination. I mean, structurally it's fine, but I don't know. It's lacking something in the character there to me. Back to Thor. That's a nice-looking copy. Number 208. 209. That was yellowing a little bit, but is as it is. And there's number 206 with the Absorbing Man. I didn't realize, because I first encountered Crusher Creel, the Absorbing Man, in the Avengers. I'd never realized until fairly recently what a big Thor opponent he was. That's where he got most of his action through the Silver and into the Bronze Age. All right, another stack here. And that is some more Thor, number 205, number 202, 201, nice. Werewolf by Night, number 6. Kind of a long waist there. You'd almost think Mike Grell drew that. But Mike Plug did a lot of the early work on Werewolf by Night. I'm a big Mike Plug fan. Supernatural Thrillers, number 1, featuring It. Huh, nice. Marvel Team Up Spider-Man and Ghost Rider, and that's a fairly early appearance of Ghost Rider. I don't know what his first appearance is outside of his own titles. Of course, he first started in Marvel Spotlight, number 5, several issues there, then got his own title. Here's number 3. That book should do well. I was going to say the book should do well because it's got Morbius in it here, but I don't know how much, the movie has killed interest in Morbius. Apparently, I haven't seen it, but I'm hearing all kinds of terrible reviews about the Morbius movie. So I don't know to what degree this is going to kill interest. This is a book that might have done a little better last month than it will do now. And I've got some sort of feeling, again, my spidey senses tingling, that maybe it'll do better now than it will a month from now. I'm not saying, grab up all your Morbius books and sell right now, but you probably should have listened to me when I told you it was time to bail on the Eternals. All right. What do you want to do? You want to cut it here? We're going to cut it here, actually, because I've been kind of gabby through the first part of this video, and I don't want them to last too long. I don't want to be too overbearing on you here. So come back tomorrow, and at that time, we will pick up right where we left off, and we'll do the second half of this box and see to what degree the books match. I can tell you that these books, as I look in them, they didn't all come from the same collection, because I see some here without bags and boards, and some in some bags, and some in bags and boards. I see some thicker books, some brownier books. not books with brownies, but books that are browned up. So no guarantee what we're going to see tomorrow in the second half of this box is anything like what we've seen today. But even if it is exactly the same type of stuff, that'll still be fun, because those were some cool books we just saw. So I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow. And until, oh no, I got to give the code word. Let us, how about, no, I think Morby will do it. So the code word is Morby Booger, M-O-R-B-Y, Morby Booger. Or should it be Vampire Booger? Nah, Morby Booger sounds more fun. So leave the code word Morby Boogier. Boogier. Who boogies more than a Morby? Who could say? Morby Booger. Leave that either as part of whatever comment you may leave down below, or just all by itself. Just that. Morby Booger, M-O-R-B-Y. That's the code word, and that'll get you entered in the contest. Okay, until tomorrow, or the next time we should meet, wherever that may be, goodbye, good luck, and please be good to each other.